Okay, welcome back. So last video we looked at Groot and Star-Lord, and for this video we are looking at Ravager Thor and Mighty Thor, aka Jane Foster. And this is all from the recent Marvel Legends Thor Love and Thunder wave. The movie is out by now, I think. Still haven't seen it, but I have these action figures and that's the next best thing, right? So as always, themed packaging at the front. We've got the window so we can see the figure. Beautiful illustrations on the side, character blurbs on the back, shattered Mjolnir up top, and that's about it for packaging. Let's get into it. I'm never really too precious about the Marvel Legends packaging because I know I'm just going to throw it away. And I always like to do first impressions when I first get it out of the package. First impression of this Thor, his hair looks so dirty. I know he's meant to be like a dirty blonde, but the way they painted it, it just looks mottled and dirty. I think I probably would have preferred a lighter blonde and then just a darker brown wash over it. I think that would have been better. But the sculpt is really nice. I love this little extra ponytail in the back. Excellent work on the face. Tiny little eyebrows, a tiny little beard, piercing blue eyes. And this shirt is so cool. Not only does it have that really awesome design of the Tree of Life and the 9 realms, but it's got that woven shirt texture. And it's really not only easy to see, but easy to feel too. Actually, you can hear it if you run your fingernail across it, how textured that is. Isn't that nice? Let's do some ASMR with Thor's shirt. Why not? Got that really cool belt buckle. I'm not a huge fan of sleeveless shirts and sleeveless vests, but Thor's doing all right with that look. Some really nice shiny black accents on the vest. Would have liked a little bit of a wash on the red parts, but a wash on the jeans would have been nice too, but you know. It's a Marvel Legend. What more do I have to say? The boots are cool, but the wrappings, the paint on the wrappings, pretty sloppy. Not terrible, but definitely noticeable. Yeah, lackluster a little bit in the paint department, but the sculpt is all there. The sculpt is fantastic. Crazy muscular arms. And we know how he looks in the movie. We know that his arms really do look like this. This isn't just an exaggerated comic book proportion type of thing. This is a real human being. Favorite part of the figure is definitely the shirt. That beard, though, that's a nice beard. You will note that he doesn't come with any extra hands, except for the ones that are attached to him, and they are both holding things hands. And he comes with Stormbreaker, so he can hold it in either hand, but it may look a little weird if you've got him wielding it one-handed and then the other hand is also kind of clenched like it wants to hold something. But if you've got other Thors, then other hands may work. Stormbreaker itself looks really awesome. The wooden part of the weapon, the part that was Groot's arm, is rubbery, and I don't really know why they did that because his hands are rubbery too, so there shouldn't be any problem getting this into his hand, but making the shaft rubbery seems like it would be easier for it to warp out of place or just look awkward. That said, another fantastic sculpt, and the paint application on this one is so cool. Got a darker gunmetal paint with silver on these accents, and you can even see some poking out through the wooden part. A slight wash on the shaft would be cool, and that would really complete the look, but as it is, it looks pretty awesome already. But yeah, it is really easy to bend. And I don't understand why that would be. I understand making a rubbery weapon if your character's fingers are really stiff, and that would allow some leeway to get it in the hand, but his fingers are pretty rubbery as well. So I don't know what's going on there. So I imagine Ravager Thor isn't going to get much in the way of looking up, yeah, because of that hair in the back. Looking down is not great either because this vest is in the way and he's got these forelocks in front. Tilt though, and some nice head rotation. I almost thought for a second we had a butterfly joint on the shoulder, but we don't. We just have a big old dumbbell there, but we've got rotation there also. Huge bicep swivel. Double elbow, and the nice thing about this double elbow is that his muscles somehow aren't so large that it impedes the full folding of the arm. Up and down and twist on the wrist. I keep forgetting the names for things today. Like things that I should know, things that I learned when I was like 2. What is this called? What is this part of my body called? I don't know. I really worry about my mental state. Not only now, but in the future. Nice crunch, twist at the waist hidden by that cut. Pretty nice movement in the legs as well. Not so much back, but we've got a thigh swivel, double knee, and once again, not much on the knee to get in the way despite how muscular he is. So the knee will go back all the way. We've got a really robust rocker on the ankle, and of course, an up and down movement. So actually, just like Star-Lord, I don't I don't know if I have any Thor figures. This wave might be my first time having a Thor. And I say that, but I might be wrong. I forget a lot of things. I have a really bad memory, so I might have a Thor. But yeah, he looks really cool. Love this look. Wish that the paint was a little more tidy on these wrappings and that the hair wasn't modeled, but other than that, he looks pretty amazing. Still love that shirt. Alright, now we move on to Mighty Thor. Korgleg. Korgleg sounds like the name of some kind of high fantasy wizard type person, or perhaps a dwarf of some sort. And so this is very strange. I open her up and immediately I notice this light spot at the top of her hair, and it's just a chunk that has been taken out of her hair. I do not know how that happened. I guess I wasn't paying super close attention to how she looked in the package, but I didn't notice that in the package. But there's no way that could have happened while I was unboxing it. It looks almost like a mouse or a rat or something took a chunk of plastic out of her hair. It's ragged and kind of hard, even though the rest of her hairpiece is soft. So I don't know what happened there. That is very strange. Ghost Rat getting into packages and biting pieces off of action figures? I don't know. Very weird. So yeah, it's pretty obvious too. That's unfortunate because the rest of her looks amazing. I think I like this figure even more than Ravager Thor just because I feel like Ravager Thor needed a lot of wash on his costume, but hers doesn't really need that. It's shiny in the correct places. It's got this really cool kind of matte black in a lot of places. There's just so many overlapping parts and colors and designs where I don't feel like it needs a wash anywhere. It just looks really cool. And of course the sculpt is beautiful. Just look at this cape. Super crisp drapery. Beautiful curly blonde hair. I like how it kind of transitions from darker blonde to lighter blonde down here, unless we're counting the rat bite up here. Great likeness. Yeah, she looks really cool. So I'm pretty bummed that there was just a big chunk taken out of her hair. I just keep feeling like I couldn't have done that, right? I mean, I tend to mess a lot of stuff up. I'm pretty clumsy. I don't really pay much attention a lot of the time, but I don't think I could have done that. This happened in the factory. I'm like 97.9% sure. But yeah, we've got some cool sculpt detail on the back too. We even have the end of her little riveted belt type thing that goes around the front. This half skirt is rubbery. It's got some slits cut into it too, so that should not get in the way of articulation. And I've noticed that more female characters, even if they aren't jacked, like Natalie Portman got for this role, a lot of them are beginning to have bicep swivel, which is nice. I especially like it when we have a way to hide it, which we don't in this case because both she and regular Thor are sleeveless. But it's not too bad. There's kind of a natural cut in the muscle there. I like this armband on the side. That doesn't really have anything to do with anything, but I like it. She has a double elbow, but oddly enough, hers will not move all the way like Thor's will. This gauntlet is in the way, so she can't really fold her elbow like he can, which is very unusual for a male versus female character, that he can do it and she can't. Once again, the hair is going to play a big part in what you can do with the head. Down is alright. A little bit of tilt. Rotation, of course. For her, we've got side to side on this hand and up and down on this one. Lots of movement up here. Tiny, tiny bit at the waist. Some crunch. A little bit of crunch back. Okay, leg movement. And it is nice that the skirt doesn't get in the way. Double knee. And so here we don't run into the problem we have here. And of course, that is not all. She will come with a helmeted head, which does not have a bite taken out of it. The flat flaps are rubbery, so they will not hurt you or snap off. And that's a nice silvery plastic with some red accents. And we also get Mjolnir, which I guess has pulled itself back together or been glued together with cosmic super glue. Would be cool if we got a little bit more detail or some paint in the cracks to kind of bring those out more, but the handle looks really nice. So I guess since she has a big chunk taken out of her hair, this might be the head that we're going with. And to be fair, that is a really cool effect. As far as costume design, I might have appreciated a little bit more blacks or browns in the helmet to tie it to the rest of the costume, because it just looks like a lot of silver up there, but it does look really cool. And also, I'm not a costume designer for a huge corporation, So what do I know? So unlike Thor, she's got this relaxed hand and this holding things hand. I reckon that's because Mjolnir is typically a one-handed weapon, whereas Stormbreaker could be used as a two-handed weapon. Notably, Mjolnir is smaller and its shaft is less rubbery than Stormbreaker. And Jane's fingers wrap pretty easily around it. They're rubbery as well. So yeah, she looks really awesome with this. I really do think that all it needs is a little bit of detail work on Mjolnir to bring out those cracks, maybe to bring out the carving or the texture on the beveled side right here. And man, she looks super cool. Don't know how this happened. Since it's so ragged and hard, I'm wondering if this happened pretty soon after it was out of the mold, but then they would have just trashed it, wouldn't they? I'm just tossing out theories. If you have a theory, please let me know. I'd be very interested to hear it. For now, I'm going with Ghost Rat theory, 100%. And bam! You thought that was it, but there's more. We're also going to be looking at Gorr in this review, only because I forgot that I'll be reviewing the Korg Build-A-Figure next review. So last review was 2 figures, this review will be 3 figures, next review will also be 3 figures. So I'm just gonna go ahead and look at Gorr. Okay, now I have opinions on Gorr, and I don't like to share what might be unpopular opinions very much on this channel because, people don't like that. And this has nothing to do with the toy, it's just my rambling about the design in general. I've seen a couple of different, reasons for why he is more humanoid in the movie as opposed to his look in the comics. One of those reasons they referenced was that Gorr in the comics doesn't wear much, and Christian Bale was uncomfortable with that with his current physique. Another reason I've seen is that they didn't want comparisons to Voldemort because Gorr in the comics doesn't have a nose, and I don't really agree with those reasons for why they made Gorr look the way he does in the movie. I mean, from what I see in the comics, he looks kind of like, I mean, he's obviously an alien, and he looks more like a Davy Jones type. And we had a Davy Jones type in a movie years ago, and that was Davy Jones. And I think they could pull that off in this movie, but they just made Gorr into like a humanoid. And I'm not saying he doesn't look cool, because he does, especially with the monochromatic elements they have him in, from what I've seen. But I am a sucker for monster design and creature design, and I just think Gorr looks so cool in the comics, and here he just looks like Christian Bale. And I really think that was a lot of the reasoning here, was you want people to see Christian Bale face. Once again, I'm not involved in the movie at all, obviously, so what do I know? But yeah, I just don't think those reasonings are very sound reasons. I think you could do a live-action comic-type Gorr, just change his outfit if you don't want to have a similar outfit, keep the alien-looking face and the tentacles and stuff, and I think it would look fantastic. I mean, look at Thanos. He's obviously non-human, and he looked amazing. But that's just my personal opinion, my little rant. And I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how cool Gorr will look or not look throughout it, so anyway, on to the actual review, the reason you're here. So like I said, I think the monochromatic look they have him in from what I've seen of the movie so far looks pretty cool. And that's kind of replicated here. A little less than I thought, because you definitely have some colors in here. You have some warm tones as opposed to, I feel like, the cooler tones in the movie. But I haven't actually seen the movie yet. I hope too soon. So who knows? This might be accurate. He's got those black fingies. Is that from doing chaos magic? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. He looks so not like an alien to me. I mean, he's even got, like, human feet. He just looks like a kind of messed up guy in a robe. The sculpting here is great. Got some weird scar textures throughout his body. But the real standout in this sculpt, I think, is the fabric. And that makes sense because there's a lot of fabric on him, so you want it to look good. The texture is amazing, and especially even this weathering on the bottom here. If you look closely, you can see this frayed edge. And that is just awesome looking. It's on his cloak too. That actually might be my favorite part of the figure, is this frayed edge of his clothing, which is weird to say, but I don't know, just, it's very aesthetically pleasing to me for some reason. Excellent likeness. You've got some veins painted on. It looks kind of like trees. Got some eyes underneath a heavy ridge brow. Those eyes are pretty clean, especially for being underneath this heavy brow. His cloak is a separate piece, so it can be taken off. And that might be better for articulation, but this doesn't have sleeves, so it shouldn't really get in the way too much. It's just kind of like floppy, you know? And since he has no hair, his head can do all sorts of things. He's got that same kind of joint that Thor has. Bicep swivel. A double elbow. Nice movement at the waist hidden by the sash. The material of his tunic is pretty stiff and long, so I don't know how much you're going to be able to get out of the knees, but you can see the pants sculpt underneath that with some really nice texture, a really nice shape to it. You've got a double knee there that actually works. This isn't too much mass to make it go back all the way. So the legs are really only limited by this bottom part of the tunic here. And not only do you have that ankle joint, you've got a swivel on the top of the ankle too. Of course, what would Gorr be without the necro sword? Really wicked looking weapon. I assume this is accurate. It looks accurate from what I've seen. It kind of is weird to me that there's a brown handle. I feel like this is supposed to be all black. Isn't that the name of the sword, all black? So I don't know. I don't know if it's like this in the movie. I assume it is. But once again, excellent sculpting there. No real need for paint apps because it's all black, except for this one brown part. And so, like Mighty Thor, he's got a relaxed or reaching hand, and this holding things hand. Sword goes in really easily, and he looks really cool, especially in this pose. I didn't even mean to do that on purpose, but... well, of course I didn't mean to do it on purpose. That's just stating two of the same things. I didn't really mean to do that. I'm not really good at posing things. The other half of Team Weekly Allowance is the poser. And I'll call him that to his face. I don't do the posing, I don't do the photos, that's him. I just do the reviews and the unboxings because I'm like a child who likes to open packages. So scale-wise, they all look pretty accurate. Of course, Jane is going to be smaller than Thor. Thor's a big dude, so Gorr is also a little bit smaller than him, and he keeps wanting to tip over. Since he's barefoot, there's a little bit less surface area for him to utilize, so he likes to fall. But yeah, they look pretty good together. Size seems accurate with Groot and Star-Lord as well, and they all look like a really good set so far. So for the next review, the final review in this particular wave, we will be opening the Armored Thor and King Valkyrie. And I'm excited about both of those. I'm especially excited for Valkyrie because she looks pretty awesome. And not only that, but we'll be putting together the Korg Build-A-Figure and looking at him. So I am pretty excited about that. I love Korg, I love Valkyrie, and then we will be finished with this wave. I'm glad I cut this up into several different reviews instead of one long one because it would be like an hour long and I get tired really quickly. So, I hope you enjoyed watching this review. I hope it was, if not informative, entertaining at least. Likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Comments are more than welcome. And I will see you guys on the next one.